Today, we gather to explore marketing in an era of borderless trade and Viksit Bharat at 2047. Marketing, India's growth story to the world. We are honored to have distinguished guests, eminent speakers, and thought leaders with us. Let's begin this exciting journey together. Shall we, Diganta?
Sure, Naomi, let's go ahead. To commence this conclave on an auspicious note, may I invite our dignitaries to join us for the traditional lighting of the lamp.
Arogyam dhana sampada shatrubuddhi vinashaya deepajyoti namostute divya divyare deepatkar kani kundala motihar divyala pahun namaskar तिळाचे तेल कापसाची वात दिवा तेवे देवा पाशी उजेड पडे विष्णू पाशी माझा नमस्कार सर्व देव देवतां पाशी ये ग लक्ष्मी बैस ग बाजे माझं घर तुला साजे घरातली इडापिडा बाहेर जाऊ दे बाहेरची लक्ष्मी घरात येऊ दे घरच्या सर्वांना उदंड आयुष्य सुख समाधान शांती लाभू दे
सदा सर्वदा योग तुझा घडावा तुझे कारणी देह माझा पडावा.
Thank you to all the dignitaries for gracing this ceremony and illuminating the path for today's conclave.
Professor Nancy Johnson is an award-winning educator, life coach, and capacity building specialist with over 20 years of expertise in the education industry. She began her career teaching mathematics to engineering students, building a strong foundation in academic riot and analytical thinking. Together, today she heads the Department of Corporate and Alumni Relations at GIBS Business School, where she leads strategic partnerships, alumni engagement, and student career development initiatives. A master NLP practitioner, certified life coach, Lean Six Sigma Green Belt, and expert relationship coach. Professor Nancy works closely with young minds between the ages of 12 to 25 years, guiding them through personal growth, career readiness, and holistic development. She has conducted faculty development workshops across institutions, mentored students nationwide, and collaborated with media and community platforms to uplift underprivileged learners. Recently honored as an India CSR social change maker for her impactful contributions to education and social development. She continues to inspire through her philosophy of joyful learning, strategic mentorship, and building meaningful relationships. Currently, she is also pursuing a master's in psychology, further deepening her expertise in human behavior and development. Now, I request Nancy Ma'am, Head Corporate and Alumni Relations at GIBS Business School, to deliver the welcome address. Ma'am, the stage is all yours.
Thank you so much, Naomi and Diganta. A very good afternoon, distinguished guests, respected faculty members, dear students, and my dear friends. On behalf of GIBS Business School, it is my great privilege to extend a warm welcome to each one of you to this amazing and thoughtful Marketing Conclave 2025, organized in association with World Trade Center, Bengaluru. We are deeply honored to have with us today Mr. Vineet Verma, Managing Director of WTC, Bengaluru, Kochi, and Chennai, and a distinguished leader in global trade and hospitality. Welcome, sir. And moreover, we are having excited panel discussion organized during this conclave. And here I welcome Mr. Preetam Thakur, co-founder of Ivy Homes. Welcome, sir. Mr. Vivek George, AGM, WTC, Bengaluru, Chennai, Kochi. And Mr. Sumit Mandal, Chief Product Officer and co-founder of Scalix AI. And none other than our Dean and Principal, Dr. Pallavi Vyas of GIBS Business School. And our very own moderator, Dr. Anita Kurian, who will be the moderator of our today's panel discussion. Welcome, ma'am. We are privileged to have such eminent thought leaders and innovators with us who will enlighten us on the theme, marketing in an era of borderless trade. At GIBS, we believe in nurturing future-ready professionals who combine knowledge with creativity, logic, associated with empathy. This conclave reflects this vision, bringing together academia, industry, and young minds to explore possibilities and chart new pathways. I extend my heartfelt gratitude to all our partners, dignitaries, and speakers for gracing us with their presence, and to our beloved students, heads of the departments, and my dear faculty members for their tireless effort in making this conclave really possible. A big round of applause to all of you. With that, I once again welcome you all to this established Marketing Conclave 2025 of GIBS Business School. May today's discussions ignite ideas, foster connections, and inspire us to take India's growth story to the entire world. Are you ready? Welcome you all once again. Welcome my dear guests as well.
Thank you, ma'am, for your warm words and for setting the tone for this conclave.
Dr. Pallavi Vyas, PhD HRM, Certified HRBP, Academic Leader and Strategic HR Expert, a seasoned HR professional with a PhD in Human Resource Management, a Master's in Business Administration, and a Master's in Science, with over 15 years of multifaceted experience spanning academia, corporate training, and organizational leadership. She expertly bridges theory and practice with a proven track record in teaching, research, and developing future-ready professionals. Dr. Vyas is currently a professor and dean at GIBS Business School, driving program strategy, research, and academic excellence. She is a certified HR business partner with a significant experience as a deputy CEO of Baroda Management Association, managing profitability and fostering key corporate client relationships. She successfully designs and delivers high-impact corporate training programs on leadership negotiation and conflict management, culture, employee engagement, and DEI for corporate clients. She is an active scholar with multiple Scopus indexed and ABDC publications, 2 filed patents, and award-winning case studies focusing on HR, technology, and sustainability. She is a proponent of the case-based methodology as a teaching pedagogy and is developing her own case studies. Her areas of interest are strategic HRM, learning and development, talent development, DEI, and organizational behavior. Now to further introduce the theme, may I invite Dr. Pallavi Vyas ma'am Dean and Principal of GIBS Business School.
Thank you so much. A very good afternoon, honored guests, distinguished faculty members, and my dear students. On behalf of the GIBS Business School community, I welcome you all to the HR Conclave, the annual Marketing Conclave that we organize every year, with the theme of this year as Marketing in the Era of Borderless Trade. Now, as an institution dedicated to shaping the minds that will lead the future, we have a responsibility to look beyond the existing horizons and identify how there are multiple shifts that are happening in the world around us. And when we talk about these shifts, there is nothing more profound than the shifts in the markets themselves. Now, when we talk about these shifts in the market, there is one shift that we look in terms of the international marketing. Now, when we look at international marketing, initially the companies, the brands, the organizations would generally focus on trying to streamline the strategies that they have for global trade or maybe for the global market, which they would just align by maybe just making certain changes in the core strategy that they have in their national markets and probably seeing how we can just streamline and change it for the international markets. However, even that is changing now. Because now we're not really looking at international borders. We now are looking at borderlessness because we see that the world has now become really interconnected because we have multiple users across the world who are connected with each other through internet in some way or the other. Wherein we see that there is a possibility that while a student probably in Jakarta might be probably looking at a niche brand, which may also be being explored by somebody sitting in Berlin, maybe a professional in Berlin who would also be looking at the same brand, interacting with the same kind of a product, and expecting a similar quality which may be available all across. So that's why we say that we are now borderless. We are not really looking at products which are focused only on one particular market, but then something which is spanning across multiple borders. And this is where brands become much more conscious to understand, what do we do to define our narrative? Should we have a narrative focused on just one culture? Or should the narrative be defined in such a way that brands understand that there are hundreds of different cultures and different people who are interacting with our products or with our services, which are available across different borders? So when we talk about this, that is what our theme today would focus on, marketing in the era of borderless trade, because this is one era which demands marketers to think differently. When we talk about marketing in the era of borderless trade, we are looking for marketers who can think about different cultures, who have cultural strength and understanding of how different countries look at different brands, to look at different products. We're looking for people who are sociologists as well, so that they understand the sociology, the psychology of the customers while they interact with these brands. And we are also looking for people who are data scientists, people who understand how data gives us multiple insights and how we can change our brands and products narrative to have an understanding across global markets. So when we look at this, marketers need to understand and ask themselves a question. How do we build this trust without the anchor of a familiar national identity? How do we build that kind of a trust? Because we have products which may probably not be produced in the national borders itself. How do we manage a brand's narrative when the brand is interacting across 100 different cultural situations and contexts? And critically, how do we do this with authenticity and the ethical responsibility that the marketers hold on themselves? So these are not just operational questions. These are not questions which the brand managers or the marketers need to look at only from an operational context. These are questions which they need to ask themselves from a strategic perspective. The businesses and leaders who thrive are those who will be seeing this not as a challenge to be managed, but as an unprecedented opportunity to build truly global communities. And for that, we have leaders amongst us, our remarkable speakers today who are at the forefront of answering these very questions. So let us hear from our keynote speaker, Mr. Vineet Verma. the Managing Director, World Trade Center, and the Director, Brigade Hotel Ventures Limited, about his perspectives in marketing in today's time. Through the panel discussion, our panelists will share their thoughts on the vision of a Viksit Bharat and how do organizations like theirs contribute to achieving this vision of a Viksit Bharat of the future that will be driven by you, the youth of today, and India's bright future. My hope is that today's discussion will not only provide you with actionable insights, but will also fundamentally expand your understanding of what market can and must become. So thank you for joining us in this essential conversation. I wish you all a very insightful and stimulating conflict. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, ma'am, for your wonderful introduction and for highlighting the visions behind today's conclave. May I now request our dignitaries to take seats off stage. Yes.
So Diganta, now it's time to dive into our conclave.
Oh, yes, Naomi.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my privilege to introduce Mr. Vineet Verma. Sir Vineet is the Managing Director of World Trade Center Bengaluru, Kochi and Chennai, and serves on the Board of Directors of the World Trade Centers Association, New York, where he is also a member of the Executive Committee and Chair of the APAC Regional Advisory Council. He is also the Director of Brigade Hospitality, which develops and manages hotels, clubs, and convention centers. His illustrious career began at the Royal Calcutta Turf Club, one of the world's most prestigious horse racing institutions, where he rose to become Secretary and CEO. He later led Bengal Ambuja Metro Development Limited as CEO, and has been deeply involved with industry bodies such as CII, ICC, and the Bengal Chamber of Commerce. Since joining Brigade Group in 2006, Sir Vineet has overseen remarkable growth in hospitality, with Brigade Hospitality consistently ranked among India's top mid-sized great workplaces. Under his leadership, the World Trade Centers in Bengaluru, Kochi, and Chennai have flourished, with new centers planned in Hyderabad, Thiruvananthapuram, and Devanahalli. Beyond his corporate leadership, Vineet Sir has been the immediate past president of the Bangalore Chamber of Industry and Commerce, a mentor of its Hospitality, Travel and Tourism Committee, a member of the CII National Task Force for Tourism, and vice president of Karnataka Tourism Society. Over the years, Sir Vineet has received numerous accolades for his outstanding contributions to industry, hospitality, and trade. Please join me in warmly welcoming Sir Vineet to enlighten us on marketing in an era of borderless trade.
I think my keynote address is going to be shorter than my introduction. I felt a bit embarrassed. I think it was too long, not required. So I must thank Dr. Pallavi for having taken away most of my speech in her address. So it makes my job that much easier. So last year, I was in US where my daughter stays. And I happened to be gifted a shirt from a brand called Banana Republic. I'm sure you're aware of the brand, Banana Republic. So we went to this very fancy mall and she picked up a shirt for me, and fairly expensive shirt. And so I took it with a lot of pride because my daughter is giving it to me. I came home and I saw that it was written, designed in India. And better still, made in Bangladesh. So what better example of a boundary-less marketing, global marketing? That's what it is all about today. So it's something very strange, yet we got used to it. I come from an age where pan parag, pan masala used to be in a city, hoardings and some Brook-Bond tea on some digital signs, and that's about it. But today it's amazing. Today, I mean, each one of us, I think, is a global marketer. You just have to put something up on Instagram, it goes viral, and globally. So I think that's the way the marketing is there today. Coincidentally, I prepared a 4 or 5 page speech, but I'm going to dump it. I think I'm going to talk heart to heart. I think I'll leave it to the professors and the technical experts to talk more about marketing and teaching you how to market. I'll speak from the heart. I'll tell you what I feel about marketing. I'm not a marketing expert. I've learned my marketing lessons through my career, and I'll just share with you and probably sort of give you 2 or 3 advices for those of you who are wanting to be marketing professionals globally. As my predecessors already, previous speakers have mentioned, today marketing knows no boundaries. There's no boundary at all. And digital media is what the mainstream media is all about today. Be it the Facebook, be it the Instagram, be it whatever. So I think there's something that I'm sure that all of you are training for, the digital media, be it the SEOs, be it the whatever you call it. But at the same time, one has to be very careful. See, while there are plenty of opportunities today in global marketing, there's one particular formula which I would like you to make a note of if you don't know already about it. I'll teach you a small thing which is a part of my mantra during my career, is something called a WYSIWYG. Have you ever anybody heard of WYSIWYG? Anyone? WYSIWYG basically is WYSIWYG. WYSIWYG. What you see is what you get. And that is what you should follow in marketing. So I'm sure most of us have been scammed online, haven't we? We have been shown some product on Amazon or Facebook, and we have merely ordered it, and something else has arrived at your house. Some very inferior product. That's against ethical marketing. I think as Indians, we have to make the entire world proud by being very ethical. So I want you to really note this down and follow this principle when you get into marketing. WYSIWYG is what you should follow. Whatever you show is what you should sell. Don't sell anything different. You can always sell something better. That's up to you. That's a bonus, but don't sell anything inferior. Here I'll give you another small example. I saw some very, very nice fancy mobile phone case on Facebook ads. Very fancy one. So, and very reasonably priced. So I immediately ordered it. It was for my iPhone 15 Pro or something. What arrived in my parcel was an iPhone 6 mobile case. And that too something which is not even worth 50 rupees. And guess what? I put up a complaint on the Facebook, on their Facebook page, the supplier given me. They blocked me on the Facebook. So is that what you really want to do as marketeers? I'm sure you won't. So as I keep saying, become a marketeer, not a racketeer. So please be very mindful of that fact, that all of us as Indians, and I think the biggest marketing personality today I feel in the world, any guesses? Mr. Narendra Modi. I think the way he has marketed India globally, it's amazing. It's amazing. I'm a great fan. I'm openly saying I'm a great fan of his. How beautifully he has marketed the country. We're also very proud today, right? I mean, earlier, if I was to walk into the airports anywhere else in the country, I travel a lot, and if I landed up at any of the US airports, some years back, I would be a little nervous. Oh, what is this immigration officer going to tell me? What are they going to ask me? Which customs officer is going to get me? Check my bag, etc. Because we were Indians, and they looked down at Indians some years back. Today, I walk through with my head held high because I am an Indian. Most of the global CEOs today, are Indians, correct? How many of the future global Indian CEOs are sitting in this room? I want to see, raise hands, yeah, come on. That's the aspiration that GIBS should give you, right? Yeah, now that's the spirit. So I'll see you 10 years later or 15 years later as in the Forbes magazine, right? As a global CEO. That's the way it should be. The other thing is, I think when you start global marketing, you need to be very, very mindful of the cultures, which Dr. Pallavi also mentioned. Various countries have different cultures. A typical example of, let's say, even a use of a small emoji that we keep using. By the way, I don't understand half of the abbreviations that you guys use in your SMSs. The only one I knew is LOL. Okay? And believe you me, earlier I thought LOL means lots of love. But I was proved wrong. It was apparently something different. ROL, LOL. So don't get into that. But even then, even if you use an emoji, like this emoji we use very often, right? What is this emoji used for? In India, probably as a thank you. But if the same emoji, if sent in a Japanese country, will probably means praying. So you have to be mindful of all those things. Another example, how many of you have had the McAloo Tikki burger in McDonald's here? McAloo Tikki. I think it's the way you raise your hands, it looks like your favorite dish, yeah? Yeah? But if McDonald's was to do a marketing campaign of McAloo Tikki, let's say in Japan, will it succeed? There, they have introduced, I think, a teriyaki burger, something like that. So I think this is something that you need to be very mindful of when you start marketing. Please educate yourself on the cultures of individual cities or countries where you're going to try and sell your product. I think that's something which again is going to be very, 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 very useful and critical for you. Please educate yourself. Even today, if I'm traveling to a new country, I make it a point to understand the culture of that country before I enter that country. So same thing applies to marketing as well. I think you need to be careful, you need to study, you need to understand what works in China may not work in Brazil, and vice versa. So that's another thing that you need to be careful of. The other thing is, be mindful. Earlier, you would do a marketing campaign in a particular city and maybe succeed or not succeed, but the chances of success were much higher. Today, you please understand that you are competing globally. You are competing with the best in the industry. So in order to compete with the best in the industry, you have to be the best in the industry yourself. So don't spare any effort in making sure that before you launch any campaign as a marketer or any product that you're going to launch, please do your homework. Spend months on doing research. This is where I admire the Japanese. There's a difference of work culture, and I'm sure some of you will know, that working in US and working in Japan are entirely two different things. Any major campaign planned in America is planned overnight, but it takes months for them to roll out that campaign. Japan is just the opposite. Sometimes you get restless. What the hell are they doing? They've taken months, they've still not rolled out the campaign. But once they roll out the campaign, it's done like this, overnight. So that's the way I personally follow, that prepare yourself well. Make sure that you spend months and hours and midnight oil, burn the midnight oil, but once you're ready to launch, it should be at least 90% fail-safe. 10% chances are always there, you might fail. But at least that way, your product will be of the highest standard because you have well thought out everything. So these are some of the 3 or 4 key messages I want to share with you. And I don't want to bore you anymore. That's the end of my keynote speech. But at the same time, I'll of course leave it to the experts who are going to come and speak in the panel. So God bless you all. I wish you a brilliant career ahead, all of you. God bless you. Yeah, go down now.
Thank you, sir, for your inspiring address and for sharing such valuable perspectives with us. May I now request Pallavi ma'am to felicitate our chief guest, Sir Vineet Verma. My dear friends, it is your turn now. We are now open for a short question and answers interaction with Sir Vineet.
Hello. Good afternoon, sir. I'm Ritika. I'm a second year PGDM student in marketing here at GIBS. So I have two questions for you. Today we see that US is under Mr. Trump's regime, and we could see a lot of tariffs and taxes happening on imports. And is this actually affecting the countries, other countries who are dependent? Because big countries like US can take decisions at any time, and this seems to be a little sudden and harsh. So do you think it is affecting the borderless trade? And this is my first question. And the second question is, even now when we're talking about borderless trade and global marketing, we see many countries in Africa lacking infrastructural development, and they lack in basic necessities. Is this criteria affecting their borderless trade and global marketing? So I want to know your take on that and how these countries can effectively do their global marketing if they have brands there.
I didn't get your second question, but let me answer the first one. So I love giving analogies. So when I was young, I used to get pocket money from my father, and I was dependent on that pocket money. One day he decided to cut off my pocket money. I learned to earn on my own. So I think in a way, the tariff thing that's happened actually is a blessing in disguise. And I think this is where, again, I keep saying what Mr. Modi has done is fantastic. We have learned to be self-dependent. And as far as the international border trade is concerned, okay, so what? I think, personally, I feel it's a passing phase. It's not going to be there forever. So don't lose hope. It's not permanent, the tariffs. And because, see, please understand, even US can't survive without importing goods, right? And as I told you, I'm a frequent traveler. Nearly 60 to 7% of the products that we buy in US are either made in China or made in India or some other country, not in US. So I think there's hope. Let's not give up hope. At the same time, there are other opportunities also. There are other countries as well where people can export to. So I don't think there's anything to be worried about in the long term.
Can I repeat my second question?
Second question, I didn't get you.
Okay, so even now when we are discussing on borderless trade and global marketing, many countries, African countries, are still lacking their basic infrastructural developments. And this is really affecting their borderless trade activities, or how are we supposed to see this? Is it making them really suffer a lot than other countries?
No, I don't think so. You see, as I told you, every country over the years will learn to live on its own. It has to be self-sustaining, even if it's African countries or whatever. Ultimately, each country has its own strengths. So I don't think there's anything that's going to be like a end of the world kind of a situation for any country whatsoever. I don't believe in that. I'm a born optimist.
Good afternoon, sir. I'm Hapsi Dorothy. And my question is, as we can see, there is an ongoing trend on the consumption of Korean products and the... Am I audible? Yeah. So, as we can see, there is an ongoing trend on the consumption of Korean products and the influence of the Korean culture worldwide. So, will borderless trade be a potential threat for the regional market or the local culture?
I don't think so. Again, my answer is no. Nothing of that sort is going to happen. Everything that is happening is a passing phase. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Just to complete my answer to both of you, both the young ladies here, one more thing please understand, and I'm being very blunt on this. At the end of the day, business and politics don't mix. So let the politics be on one side. At the end of the day, business has to happen, and it will happen. Even today, I mean, goods are coming in from Pakistan also, right? And we are also exporting onions to Pakistan. So I think that happens. The business is on one side, politics on the other side.
So, good afternoon, sir. You have mentioned the appreciating the different culture. But nowadays there is so much push for the nationalism in everywhere. Does not it destroy the spirit of global marketing?
How does that, see, being a patriot, being a nationalist does not stop me from doing cross-border trade or being sensitive or empathetic to the other cultures. I may be a Hindu, but I respect Quran, I respect Sikhism. I'm a hardcore nationalist and Indian. I'm very proud Indian. But I'm also wanting to know what the culture of China is, or Thailand is, or US is. It's always good to know that. So I don't think that's an issue at all. I think you can be a nationalist, yet be empathetic and sympathetic and aware of the other cultures as well. I think that's what helps you do good borderless trade.
Yes, sir. So how do you find a balance between Swadeshi and like bringing in foreign investments or foreign companies? How do you find a balance?
I'll give you a live example. I run hotels, right? Our company runs hotels. Till a few years back, almost 80% of the equipment in our five-star hotels, our luxury hotels, would be imported. We would import the entire kitchen equipment, the beds, the furniture, everything would come from international shores. Because that time India lacked the competence or the quality to deliver the kind of quality I wanted in our hotels. Today, 90% of my equipment is Indian. Only 10% comes from overseas. The reason is because we have become Swadeshi, we have become self-sufficient, our industry has grown, our quality of equipment has grown. It's better than even the international products. But however, there are certain products where India is still not there. And that 10% product we have to import. So that's the change.
Thank you, sir.
Any
Come
more
on,
questions?
Keep it coming. I enjoy questions.
Hello, sir. I'm Setavi. I'm from second year PGDM. So you mentioned that today marketing is all about global marketing, like using Instagram and social media. But on the other hand, marketing is all about personalized and hyper-personalized. So my question is, isn't it a contradiction?
I'm sorry, can you come again? I'm not clear with your question.
You mentioned that today marketing is all about global marketing.
Correct.
Like using social media, like Instagram. But on the other hand, it's all about personalized and hyper-personalized marketing trend. So isn't it contradiction right now?
No, not at all, because you target certain, Instagram was a very basic example I gave you. I'm talking about the real-time marketing in real time. I'm not talking about only the digital media. I gave you an example of, let's say, even the McDonald's customizing their products across the cities. Similarly, if you have to customize a product, you have to be mindful that the product that you're selling, you might load a product on Instagram, but only people who will find use of that product will buy from you, right? So you're basically, a product like Instagram or a Facebook, you're just uploading your product in the market for anyone to take. You're not really directly focusing it to a particular country or a particular culture. However, when you do a focused and a direct marketing campaign globally, you have to be mindful of that. For example, how do I explain to you? Let's say, how do I simplify? A particular cheese product, let's say for example. A cheese product of the same international company in India tastes different from the same cheese product in US or in China. They have customized even that cheese product. They have added a bit of herb here, a bit of salt there, without salt there. That's how the sensitivity happens. So I'm talking about that kind of personalization. Have I answered your question? Thank you.
Good evening, sir. My name is Anmesh and I am from PGDM second year, sir. My question is, sir, like how you are managing both companies at a time? Like you are managing director of World Trade Center and director of your own, I think, Brigade Hotel Ventures.
Sometimes even I wonder, how am I managing? But I'm able to manage. I think the secret lies in time management. I think secret lies in that. There's another few disciplines I follow. I wanted to share some personal secrets with you. I'm actually on the board of almost 8-9 companies, other than these 2 that I head directly. And of course, Vivek is there as my deputy in the World Trade Center side. Time management is something that you need to learn very, very well. Be cool all the time, be happy all the time. Always, the world is not falling apart. No matter what happens, keep smiling. Second thing is plan your day well. I plan my day the next day before I go to bed the previous night. And I plan my day, I'm prepared that, okay, these are the meetings that are going to happen, these are the places I've got to visit, these are the people who are coming, this is a design workshop I have to be a part of, etc., etc. So I sleep comfortably knowing that I'm prepared for the next day. Of course, unexpected can happen off and on. And as a rule, and something you'll be happy to know when you get into offices, as a rule, unless it's critical, I never stay late in office. I always go back on time because I believe that my family time is as important as my office time. So I think that's how it works. It's not difficult at all. It's not difficult at all, as long as you know how to manage time. And therefore, I'm already known, I think my friend Vivek will bear me out. I'm actually a man of few words. I'm speaking too much today. But I am a man of few words. People who come to meet me, I come straight to the point and out. I don't beat around the bush and spend half an hour in talking about a subject that's going to take me only 1 minute. So that's how I manage time. That's a secret for all of you.
Thank you, Sir Vineet, and our audience for this engaging interaction. Sir, we request you to take your seat off stage.
Can I come down from here? Sure, sir.
Moving forward, we are entering into an engaging panel discussion on Viksit Bharat at 2047, Marketing India's Growth Story to the World. Let me introduce our first panelist, Mr. Preetham Thakur, co-founder Ivy Homes. Mr. Preetham Thakur is an entrepreneur and business leader with a strong background in technology and operations. A graduate of IIT Kanpur, he began his career as an entrepreneur in residence at Rocket Internet in 2014, where he worked on the international ventures including CarMatch Philippines. He was among the earliest employees at ShareChat, India's leading social media platform, where he played a vital role in shaping content strategy and operations. Rising to become Director, Content Strategy, he helped scale ShareChat's user engagement and content ecosystem during its rapid growth phase. In 2021, Mr. Preetham co-founded Ivy Homes, a Bengaluru-based PropTech startup that is reimagining the residential real estate experience. Ivy Homes focuses on simplifying home buying and selling through technology-driven solutions, offering transparency, efficiency, and trust to homeowners and buyers alike. Beyond Ivy Homes, Mr. Preetham has an entrepreneurial experience as the proprietor of Subhadra Bhavan Residence in West Bengal and has consistently demonstrated expertise in scaling businesses, building teams, and driving operational excellence. With over a decade of diverse experience across tech startups, real estates, and international ventures, Mr. Pritham continues to build innovative platforms that bridges gap in traditional industries and create meaningful impact. Sir, we welcome you. Our next panelist is Mr. Vivek George, AGM, World Trade Center, Bengaluru, Chennai, Kochi, Member Advisory Council, WTCA, New York. Keep it short. Okay, sir. Mr. Vivek George, Assistant General Manager, Business Development, World Trade Center, Bengaluru, Chennai, and Kochi. It is my honor to introduce Vivek sir, a seasoned business development leader with over 15 years of experience in strategic management, international trade, and corporate relations. At the World Trade Centers in Bengaluru, Chennai, and Kochi, Vivek sir spearheads growth initiatives, fosters global partnerships, and has been instrumental in positioning these hubs as a premier destination for international business collaborations. He played a vital role in securing WTCA Premier Accreditation for WTC Bengaluru in 2023, Chennai in 2024, and Kochi in 2025, and was a key organizer of the prestigious 54th Global Business Forum in Bangalore. Vivek sir currently serves on the Regional Governing Council of EPCES Karnataka and is also a member of the International Business Expert Committee of BCIC. Previously, he led corporate relations at the Kochi Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and his expertise spans SEZ compliances, trade missions, ecosystem building, connecting operations, MSMEs, and startups with global opportunities. Academically, Vivek sir holds an engineering degree in electronics and telecommunications and an MBA in marketing and HR. Please join me in warmly welcoming Vivek sir.
Our next panelist, Mr. Sumit Mandal. It is my privilege to introduce Chief Product Officer and co-founder of Scalix AI, an alumnus of Delhi College of Engineering and IIM Lucknow. Sir Sumit brings with him over 18 years of diverse experience across EdTech, telecom, SaaS, and B2B marketplaces. His expertise lies in revenue operations, analytics, product strategy, and business growth, making him a thought leader in building scalable and sustainable business models. Before co-founding Scalix AI, Sir Sumit had leadership roles in several high-growth organizations. He was AVP Sales at Interview Kickstart, where he drove sales operation and customer success. He also contributed to Unacademy during its rapid expansion phase, and worked with Leap to launch new CRM systems and optimize workflows. Earlier, he served as business head at Credily, managing sales, support, and customer success functions. At Scalix AI, Sir Sumit is building an AI-powered RevOps platform designed to accelerate revenue growth, optimize sales performance, and transform how business engage with customers. His vision is to combine cutting-edge AI with practical business intelligence to create a new era of convergent optimization and revenue intelligence. With his strong foundation in technology and management and a proven track record of scaling businesses, Sir Sumit continues to shape the future of SaaS and AI-driven revenue operations in India and beyond. Please join me in warmly welcoming Sir Sumit. We are privileged to have as our moderator today, Dr. Anita Kurian, Assistant Professor at GIBS Business School. Anita ma'am brings with her over a decade of academic and professional experience and currently teaches digital marketing to our PGDM students. She holds a PhD from Mysore University and is deeply committed to fostering student growth through innovative teaching methods and dedicate mentorship. Her expertise, coupled with her passion for guiding young minds, making her the perfect moderator for today's discussion. Please join me in extending a warm and heartfelt welcome to Anita ma'am.
Good afternoon, students. A warm welcome to our panelists as well as our faculty members and students to this panel discussion. Today, the topic that we have to discuss is Viksit Bharat 2047. Why? We are trying to look at India's marketing growth and trying to tell this story to the world. It is both ambitious as well as there is a call to action that we look for. Now, India has progressed so much that we no longer try to say make in India and sell it in a domestic market. We are looking at trying to create better products so that we can sell at a global market. So the question always remains when we try to go borderless trade, how do we use our traditional wisdom, our innovation that we have, the technology that we have, and how do we tell this story to the world? To explain this better, we have wonderful panelists here with us who can talk on different vantage points which can help us understand this better. To unravel this, I have with me three experts who view this challenge differently. Mr. Vivek George, from the Gateway of Global Trade, the World Trade Center, Mr. Sumit Mandal, who is the forefront of AI revolution, and Mr. Preetham Thakur, an entrepreneur building brands for the new India. Let us begin trying to explore this big picture. My first question is to you, Mr. Vivek. So the first question is, from your perspective at the World Trade Center, how can World Trade Centers support Indian businesses, especially SMEs and emerging companies, in expanding their global footprint through trade services, market access, and international business connections?
Good afternoon, Dr. Kurian. Thank you so much for the introduction and for the people, the students who have compared. Excellent work. Thank you so much for introducing us. Quite a detailed one. So, I was just observing the crowd. I could see that, you are quite popular here. I could sense it. Because the moment, your name, Thank you. The vibe has totally changed. The way in which they were, interacting, the way in which they were smiling. I could see everybody smiling, everybody ready to clap. I could sense that, Yeah. So anyway, thanks, Dr. Kurian, and yeah, I think, I request your attention here, please. Yeah. Okay. So thank you so much, GIBS, for this opportunity, and congratulations for putting this marketing conclave today. I understood that this is an annual event, and I'm really glad that I have been invited to be a part of it, and of course, we have invited World Trade Center Bengaluru to be a part of this. Let me just start off with that caption itself. You are discussing on the growth story, the Viksit Bharat 2047 growth story. Has anyone in this room, can you tell me why is it called a story and not a report or a presentation? I'm just thinking from a marketing point of view. Why is it a story and not a presentation or a report? Louder, please. I cannot hear you. Are all stories unbelievable? We all have our life story, no? It's not unbelievable. We have lived that life, and you continue to live that. Not all stories are unbelievable. Sorry? Do you read? What kind of things do you read? Fiction? Digital marketing, non-fiction, okay. Anyone else? Exactly. Please give her a big hand. That was exactly my point. It is a story because that is the easiest way to market it. The easiest way to present your, the growth trajectory. As a marketeer, as budding marketeers, we should have that art of storytelling. So I thought I'll just start off with that. And coming back to your question on how World Trade Center helps, yes. World Trade Centers are in a city to help businesses connect with markets abroad. If you see, I hope you have seen the World Trade Center building in Bangalore. Yes? Do you know where it is? Louder. Not the Phoenix Mall, right? The Orion Mall? Yes. Yeah. I'm sure the place is popular because of the mall. But, we are also an exciting place. Maybe, once you pass out from campus, you will start to realize it. There are a lot of people who think and, ask us what exactly a World Trade Center does. In short, I'll tell you, we are a facilitator. We are a global facilitator. Unlike the Chambers of Commerce, we have a network of 330 World Trade Centers, which is today spread across 100 countries. So that is the power of we should say, that is the USP that a World Trade Center brings into a city. So it's not the iconic building that you see, but the trade facilitation that happens within World Trade Centers that actually helps World Trade Centers to connect with MSMEs and budding entrepreneurs. We do have a lot of trade services apart from the infrastructure facilities that you might be aware of. We do trade events. We do trade expos, exhibitions. Have you been part of any exhibition as a volunteer, as an attendee, as a participant? No? So we have a Bangalore exhibition center right, it's not near, but right at the end of the nice road, we have the Bangalore International Exhibition Center. So we are a similar exhibition center, but not as big as a convention center there. But we do trade events. We do trade shows, trade expos. We handle trade delegations, both inbound and outbound. When I say events, we also do a lot of industry connect events as well as market connects events. We help Indian MSMEs identify potential opportunities abroad in foreign markets through our networks. So I think a few of you, I don't know whether the people are here, but a few of you have already connected with me on LinkedIn, so you might get a sense of the type of events that we are doing. So I just want to highlight one series that we are doing. It's called the Discovery Series, where we feature a foreign country every month, and we have completed 6-7 episodes of it. And somebody was checking out on Africa and all. The last episode was on Nigeria. And the reason why we did Nigeria is we have a World Trade Center there in Abuja, where they are focused on supporting and helping these World Trade Centers grow outside of Africa. Africa is a very strong market. There are a lot of other challenges that they face, but they have huge potential, and they, of course, they require support, but they are self-motivated and they have a lot of resources which can help them out from the situation. So, in short, let me just tell you, we are only a facilitator. We connect people who are interested in international trade through these support services. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for helping us understand the role of World Trade Center in supporting Indian businesses so that we can go borderless. Now, we talked about the role of World Trade Center. Now let's dive into understanding the tool that can help us, that is technology that can help us to reach that. So my next question to you, Mr. Sumit, is, in your view, how is artificial intelligence fundamentally reshaping the core strategies of marketing, and what is the biggest opportunity it presents for Indian brands going global?
Thank you for your question. First of all, thanks GIBS School, Nancy ma'am, for inviting me here. Thanks to all of you for investing time. So I will start with a question. I will come to your question later. Somebody asked about Africa, right? And you also touched upon Africa. One of the biggest example of borderless trade which comes to me is Singapore. Everybody is aware of Singapore, what it does. Singapore's some around 50 years back, it was a third world country like any one of us or Africa. Now it's the first country. It's not third world country, it's the first country. So you tell me how it happened. Anybody amongst the audience, any student would like to take a crack at it? What Singapore does better, or how they became number one in the world in terms of trade? Anybody? There are various factors to it, obviously. No? No one? Is it their geolocation? It was very, very beautifully located so that every trade route is passing through them? Or is it actually the founding father who was a visionary? Or is it their hard work? Or is it their financial innovation? All of them are true. But the actual truth about is, if we have to pin it down to one thing, it is a tin box. It's a container. Because they understood that the shipping. Okay, I'll come back to one question. How much percentage you think of your global trade is maritime? What percentage? Anybody? Come on, second year students. Percentages, 10%, 20%, 30%, 40%. It's 90%. So 90% of global trade happens maritime, right? And what Singapore did was, they built infrastructure to handle the container, which is now the backbone of maritime trade. So they built ports, they built infrastructure so that they can cater to that kind of maritime activity. And that was the cornerstone which made Singapore the country which it is. So that's the true example of borderless trade. They identified the actual how the world will change, and that's how they actually became. So any African country, any Indian country, any one of you, if you have the idea, right sets of principle, right innovation, you can probably be a global power in, say, 20 years, 10 years, 5 years, depending on whatever you're working on. Coming back to your question, so how marketing is reshaped, it is not only reshaping the marketing, it is rewriting the operating system totally. Because how brands used to understand their customer, engage with customer, and deliver information to customer, it's totally changing now. It has rewritten the entire playbook. The things which you can do right now at your fingertip is immense, which was not probably possible 5 years back, 3 years back. But right now, you can do a lot of things. Primarily marketing, I can see that there are 3 core areas where it impacts. Somebody talk about hyper-personalization in marketing, right? So that's what AI can do for you. That's what hyper-personalization is, where you are going away from a very, very generic communication to a very, very hyper-personalization communication, because AI can sieve through a lot of data, structured and unstructured data, and give you an intent-based thing which is actually very, very localized, which is absolutely hyper-contextualized for you. So AI is doing that. Apart from that, obviously what it's doing is across the value chain. So earlier, and we have seen it, and again, my fellow panelists will definitely agree with that, that marketing used to work separately, sales will be working separately, and then support will be working separately. They worked in silos. But a lot of data resided in CRMs, in your mails, unstructured data, which is not useful because only the person who's reading it, only the person who's going through it, it's useful to them. But right now, you can actually, the AI can read a lot of unstructured data, make sense out of it, read the intent, and actually make a marketing campaign out of it, right? Third point is the things you can do at scale, right? Earlier, it was very, very static campaigns. So like one logo, and obviously there are beautiful marketing campaigns which has happened, but it was not specific to you. It was a generic for a product. It was very, very generic. The communication was very, very generic. But now with AI, what you can do is you can have a very, very, very personalized messaging, which is very, very useful to you, which you will take action if the message reaches you, right? So I see in these 3 core areas, your new tools, the AI, how it's transforming marketing, and how a new age marketing will evolve out of that. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for explaining how AI can help understand different data so that we can produce better products or understand our customers better. Now, all of this is fine, but only an entrepreneur will know the true story and the challenges behind it. So my next question is to Mr. Preetham. So from your experience in building a consumer-facing brand, what is the most critical element an Indian brand must get right when balancing its traditional heritage with a modern global image?
Absolutely. See, first thing, if we have to talk about Indian consumer, right? Of course, Vineet sir spoke about delivering world-class product. We all want world-class product, but one of the most important thing about Indian customer is that 99% of us are very value conscious. We are not cheap, right? We are not cheap. It's not that if we have to get something for our household or if we have to buy a service, we are going to go for something that is cheap, right? We want to extract the maximum value from anything that we get. It might be a car, it might be a haircut, it might be a dress, it might be a shoe, it might be food, anything, right? And that is the reason why this entire hoopla about discounting works in marketing. For a company like us, right? Just a quick introduction. So we buy apartments, we renovate, and we resell. And over the course of last 4 years, we have had multiple experiences when it comes to targeting the right audience. Initially, you never get it right, then gradually you learn, and then you kind of improve upon that system. Fundamentally, what we have realized is this, that for an Indian customer, right, they are very smart, right? You will always have to be very focused, be very direct. If you are running a digital campaign, it is very important to be as transparent as possible. Now, yes, talking about transparency, sometimes we do go wrong in some of the things, right? And especially if what we are purchasing is not a very high ticket size, we will not care that much as an Indian consumer. For example, if I have to buy a piece of t-shirt and I spend 1,000 rupees on t-shirt, and if the t-shirt kind of starts to fade after 2 washes, my life doesn't change in general. Like, it's just a t-shirt, I will be sad for 2 days, on the 3rd day I will be fine. However, if I'm buying, let's say, a scooter, if I'm buying a house, if I'm buying something which is very high ticket size, let's say an appliance that I'm going to use for a long time, let's say a refrigerator or a television, it is very important to be transparent, and this applies all across every brand. Traditionally, what you have seen is that the kind of brands or the kind of companies that have sustained for a long time are the kind of companies that have maintained a certain degree of consistency in the product, have been transparent all along. So from a consumer point of view, what I would expect from a brand is, number one, I should be getting a very high value. Discounts already help, but if I'm buying a 1,000 rupee product, it should be a 1,200 rupee product that I should be getting. Number two, there should be a high degree of consistency throughout time whenever I'm delivering that product, right? It can be a shoe, it can be a t-shirt, it can be haircut, it can be anything. So yeah, transparency and very high quality are the 2 primary things that we need to get right.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for helping us understand how an Indian customer thinks. So till now, we laid a foundation on the brand Viksit Bharat 2047. All this theory is good, but then when it comes to reality, the challenges are so different. So let us try to explore some challenges, some reality. So my question to Mr. Vivek would be, with the rising geopolitical shifts and regional trade blocks, what is the key challenge Indian businesses must overcome to remain competitive, and how can they navigate it?
Sure. The answer to that question is in your question itself. Because I'm glad that somebody brought it up initially, trade blocks, the tariff fares, the tariff wars, the trade blocks that any businesses today face. I'll just cite an example. I come from Kerala. Are there any Malayalis here? I'm sure there will be at least a few. Yeah. Next question is Naatil evideyanu. Yeah. So I am from a place called Mavelikara, but I've lived my career in Kochi. We also have a World Trade Center in Kochi. So I'll cite an example from Kochi. Do you know what is Cochin famous for? Exactly. And seafood is something that is unique to Kochi. Is it? Yeah. So I've had the opportunity to work with the Seafood Exporters Association there. So what they were saying is, whenever from World Trade Center, whenever we used to reach out to them, they are all condemned and they are all happy with what they have. And any idea of which market they largely deal with? It's a US market. The margins are so wide that they are so happy, and they have been doing this for generations, not years, generations. So whenever we reach out to them, they said, no, we are happy. We are happy with what I have, what we have. We don't think we should, consider any other market outside of what we have. This was pre-pandemic, or maybe sometime in 2016-17 time. Now what has happened? What has happened to the US? How is US treating India? In terms of tariffs, I'm referring only to the tariffs. How is India being treated by the US? What is the scope that Indian exporters who have been dealing with multiple products, it's not only seafood, it can be even textiles. What's happening to them? What they have done is, the mistake that they did earlier was they never diversified. Diversified not in their product line, but in the markets. So the biggest challenge that today they face is the uncertainty in foreign markets. They don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. You may ship something today, tomorrow the entire regime gets changed, you are bankrupt. So, as my boss was saying earlier, we are trying to be resilient and we are trying to innovate the way in which we trade. So the solution to that is always keep at least 3 or 4 markets in hand, so that if there is any uncertainty in one, we always have something else to latch on to. I come from a real estate company called Brigade. If you ask me, Brigade has different verticals. So how are we connected with Brigade? Brigade has taken the World Trade Center license. But Brigade also has other verticals. Like any real estate company during the pandemic, what has happened to us? We have diversified, and just before COVID also, we had different verticals. So when the sales is down in residential or retail, the malls, we have gained business from hospitality or maybe from residential. COVID was a perfect time, a classic example of how residential sales would have flourished. I'm sure Preetham would also agree to that. And it continues to be for all real estate companies. Bangalore is a hot market as well. So, coming back to your question, I see for the time being, it's the trade tariffs. But at the same time, access to information. When I say information, it's information about product, information about market, information about people, information about the regulations. Not only tariffs, the other trade regulations. So the access to right kind of information is also crucial and is important for any Indian businesses when they think of overseas market.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for helping us understand that with every problem, we are able to come with a better solution. Now, my next question is to Mr. Sumit. So this question is very close to my heart. I'm sure all my faculty members will agree with me. Now, when we were in college, our faculties told us to find out about a campaign or something, we would either visit the library or Google it. Now, these days, AI has taken over everything that our students are on any AI platforms, and they're able to generate answers that are so good. Now, I do not know whether I should be happy that their answers are very, in terms of quality, good, or I should be worried that, the way they think has kind of changed or deteriorated in a way. They're not able to use their creativity. So my question to you is, as marketing becomes more automated, do you believe AI and human creativity are ultimately partners or rivals in crafting compelling global campaigns?
Can you repeat the last part?
Sure. So, do you believe that AI and human creativity are ultimately partners or rivals in crafting compelling global campaigns?
So I believe humans and AI, so these are force multipliers. We are not competing with each other, right? So first of all, humans have made AI, so how can something which we have made can compete with us? That is for certain. Yes, we have seen movies like Terminators and so many AI movies where AI takes over for sure. But believe me, it will take a lot of years for AI to reach there. Having said that, I will talk in Gen Z terms. So humans and AI are in a very, very healthy situationship, if you ask me. Okay, so because AI is doing the heavy lifting, right? So AI is doing those mundane works. AI is doing those iterations. AI will not say that I won't work after 8 p.m. AI won't say that I won't do 27th iteration. AI won't say that I won't do 50th iteration. It will do it. So what humans have to do is they have to utilize AI in a way that it can actually deliver value for everybody, right? So again, in terms of capability, it will immensely enhance your capability. So first of all, how you use technology, it's always the forefront of it. Our esteemed keynote speaker actually said that we have to be mindful and we have to put a lot of guardrails about a lot of things when we are using AI. That is true for any technology. Yes, fission can be used to build atomic bombs, and it can be used to build electricity also, right? So it's up to us how we use the technology, how it's applied, and how it is interpreted, right? So if suppose to answer, coming back to your question, which is close to your heart, definitely students need to use AI, so there is no question about it. Yesterday only I was discussing with one of my co-founders that somebody has written a LinkedIn post that these days people are writing their LinkedIn posts and mails through AI. And they are very, very condescending about it, that why people are using AI. So it's like, and my co-founder said that it's like saying that why people are using calculator to calculate, or why we are using laptops or computer to do computing. It's like that. New technology is there. If you're not utilizing it, somebody else will utilize it and be miles ahead of you if you're not utilizing it. But then again, you will have to be mindful. If you're just doing blatant copy paste, obviously it will not be useful to you at all. But if you are utilizing it, to be your co-pilot, be your partner, and augment your capabilities, then AI will do wonders. If you are delegating everything and you're not applying your mind, believe me, anything, leave AI, any books, anything will not be useful to you. So answer to that question is, AI is definitely help. AI is definitely useful thing. Use it as you will, but with the right boundaries, the right guardrails, and you have to apply your brains to it. Ultimately, somebody has built the LLM, right? AI has not built itself. Self-driving cars are not built. Somebody has thought about it, somebody had envisioned it, and then they built it, right? So again, humans are on the forefront. So it's like saying, so if some new technology comes in, and there is always this question and fear, right? And this fear will always be with the second year student for sure, who will be sitting for their placements, that whether AI will take their jobs or not. Of course, if you jobs will be reshaped, right? So again, if you ask me, that I have seen when I was growing up that the ledgers, and obviously some esteemed professor will agree with me, that earlier the clerical staff in a company were the largest, right, in a company, who are doing the bookkeeping, who are doing a lot of things. If you see right now, they are not there. It doesn't mean that people are jobless. So they have acquired new experiences, they have acquired new knowledge, vocations. So it is giving us a lot, it is freeing up our time to actually focus on things which actually will be helpful. So in context of marketing, understanding your customer. Obviously it can give you a lot of information, insights and everything. But what you do with that insight, how you action upon it, ultimately decision is with you. It can give you a very, very beautiful tagline. But where you put it, how you put it, that's up to you, right? So to answer question, AI will be helpful if you actually apply it. Thank you.
My dear students, I hope you heard that loud and clear. AI can be used as a good tool, but it is definitely not a replacement to your intelligence.
And not assignments.
Yes, definitely not for assignments, as Sir rightly said. Right. Moving on, I would like to ask my next question to Mr. Preetham. Now, when the world looks at India, they think of yoga, they think of the organic products that we sell. So my question to you is, beyond just a green label, how can Indian brands authentically and effectively embed sustainability and ethics into their core brand story for the world?
Okay. Rightly said, because there has been a lot of change when it comes to the way the world perceives Indians. Vineet sir mentioned some time back that, okay, when you are out in a Western world, you can go with your head held high. However, at the same time, right, like to a huge extent, if we talk about heritage in India, the first thing that will come to most of the people's mind would be a tiger or a peacock or a Maharaja wearing a crown, right? We really do not see from the outside perspective, right? India, unfortunately, is not seen as a tech powerhouse. India, unfortunately, is not seen as a country that can deliver very high efficiency or very high designs. For a long time, we have been the tech backend, right? And there's no sugarcoating out there. We have been the tech backend for the Amazons, the Microsofts of the world, right? The Amazons and the Microsofts have outsourced most of the work where they thought that, okay, the cost of getting this thing done in India would be cheaper. If you talk about quality, anything, right? Textile is usually taken by the Bangladesh, Vietnam, Indonesia, Cambodia of the world. China is the largest exporter of leather goods. Like, contrary to the popular belief, India is not, like, nowhere compared to where China is. When it comes to great designs, of course, there are some wonderful companies that are embodying great design. I'm sure Brigade Group is amazing when it comes to the design element, but when you talk about great design, right, a country like Dubai will come to your mind. When you talk about great technology, when you talk about automobile, Germany will come to your mind. When you talk about precision or anything that has to do with Six Sigma, it will be the Japan. India would be mostly related to spices, tiger, and yeah. So this is where we have stood till 5-10 years back. And of course, like, even from my end, there is absolutely no shame in saying that the current Prime Minister has done a wonderful job when it comes to putting India in a global landscape. So outside heritage, what is very important fundamentally for people who are going into the workforce, that it is important to think globally, but build locally. So when you think globally, the first thing is that there should be an acknowledgement of the quality and the standards that are set in countries outside India. If you are, let's say, if you are doing something in agriculture, the first thing is acknowledging that a country like Australia or even a country like US is better when it comes to getting agricultural products out there, right? We might produce it at a very niche scale. There might be 1 or 2 farmers here and there who would be producing great quality food, but at a mass scale, we are not. Or anything like that, right? So what is fundamentally important for all of us is to acknowledge that there is a significant improvement in quality required across everything that we build. So think globally and build locally. Whatever you are building, whatever you are working upon, it is important that we take some degree of aspiration from what is happening outside India. Now, when you talk about where the true force of India lies, right, it is, of course, for a long time and still now, it is the Indian demographics. China has a population problem going on. There are different countries where we have seen that population is on a decline. But when you talk about the number of young people who can contribute at a scale, right, be it any kind of product, be it any kind of services, this demographics is the greatest strength that we have. In my opinion, we should utilize it. We should kind of double down on it. We should take inspiration and think about how we build it at a scale, right? And once in a while, it's okay to acknowledge that there might be something that we might not be able to build in India. Of course, very controversial topic. We want to invest a lot when it comes to chip development. There are different kinds of papers that are written about it, but most of the Western counterparts, most of the academicians would agree that it's not a great idea for India to develop chip. Of course, you can manufacture, you can scale, but developing might not be something that would be economically beneficial because chip needs to be cutting edge. If you're 2 years behind, there's nothing that you can contribute. So from an Indian perspective, think globally, build locally. That's my opinion.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for helping us understand that even though the world looks at us based on our cultural elements, we are trying to strive to work towards the global market, as sir rightly said, think globally and work locally. Now, we have understood the foundations of Viksit Bharat. We have tried to understand the realities or the challenges behind it. I have a very last question to all three of you together. So my question is, now looking at the future leaders, our students, what is one piece of advice that you would like to give them so that they are also a part of the story of Viksit Bharat? We'll start with you, Mr. Vivek.
No, I was actually not looking at future leaders. I was only looking at people sitting at the back. And those privileged ones sitting on the balcony. Is it because you don't have space downstairs? Or are you, who are those? Are they students or faculty?
The students.
No, you're one of those lucky ones. The view is totally different from there. Anyway, so, this entire engagement in this campus, has brought me back, has taken me back to my MBA days, 15, 16 years back, where, we used to have such kind of industry interactions. I don't know for what, but yeah. I'll tell you, there are people who benefit out of it and there's a reason why it has been done. How often do you gather like this? Weekly once. So you follow the same model, We also had this every Thursday. Today is a Friday, right? Every Thursday we used to come sit. And, I belong to a group who come early. You know why? So what's happening with the backbenchers, backseaters? Do you have any games there? Anything interesting happening there? Anyway, I miss all those things. You do this when you can do this, because after this you cannot do this. And it's very important that you enjoy doing it. You enjoy whatever you want to do, but please enjoy it. Now, coming to your question on, advice, tips. I don't think I'm that old to advise anyone, but I can share, maybe reflect a few things which I have learned from my bosses. I've never been an entrepreneur, so I'm not a person to advise you on entrepreneurship. Between, how many of you want to start your own business here? Still a minority. Yeah, that should be your mindset, There is nothing wrong working in a corporate, but your mindset should be starting at least, something of your own, how little it may be, but start something, even if it's not your direct job, you do something as a side business. It gives you a lot of lessons It helps you to understand what life is. So what I wanted to tell you is, and I just reflect what my bosses have. They haven't told me, but what I've observed from them is, be curious always. Never stop asking questions. Every question to me is important. There is nothing like a stupid question. The moment you start asking questions, your learning starts there. You will understand the various aspects of a problem or a situation when you start questioning, why is it so? Why is it like this and why is it not like that? So always be curious. And the second thing I wanted to tell you is, always think from the other side of the table, especially for the marketeers who wants to be a marketeer. Always think from the other side, because the perspective that we have is totally different from the other side. That's why I was referring to the view from the balcony. What you are seeing and how you are seeing is different from what they are seeing. See, it's important that you think from the other side so that you can design, you can produce, you can share and present based on their understanding and requirement. That is very important. And finally, let me also tell you, always be open for collaboration. The institute will give you a lot of things, will give you multiple opportunities to collaborate. Take it as it is. Don't think twice. Exams are all fine. Let the exams happen. That will. I don't remember. I've sat in maybe 3-4 interviews. I was one of the unfortunate to be placed first in the campus. I'll tell you why separately, not here. No, that's a reality. I was one of the unfortunate to be placed first in the campus. So I couldn't sit for multiple interviews in the campus. But the moment I moved out, I realized that I've lost multiple opportunities. So it's not only interviews. I'm saying exposures. Wherever you have a chance, you interact with people in the industry, learn from them, understand from them. Your teachers, let them be bridges for you to connect with the industry. The moment you start connecting, multiple doors will open for you. I'm sure you would have your internship, and I'm sure most of you are getting on to your winter internship or summer internship, whatever it is. But, just be there. If possible, take up an internship outside your hometown. If Bangalore is your hometown, take up an internship outside of Karnataka. That could be maybe one of your first instances where you are going to see a different set of people. You will have a lot of culture shocks. You will have real life experiences. And that is something that I have done, so I can always vouch on it. And at the same time, it is important that you understand and be a part of whatever happens in the campus. It's only for 2 years, then it's gone. It's done forever, unless you want to pursue your studies elsewhere. So I'll keep it short. Always be open, be adaptable, go with the flow, but always question the flow. Thank you.
Sumit sir, your advice to our students.
Okay, let's be a little interactive. Okay, so Preetham spoke about going global, think local. What does it mean? Anyone? Come on, guys. Be curious. Ask questions. Anybody? Yeah, please.
Good evening, sir. My question is from you that I liked your example that you shared about Singapore, and it had an advantage of being a geolocation. And the thing about India is a peninsular region, and can we take advantage of the ports that we have in India? Because I believe some ports are underutilized while some might have a potential of being better and utilizing their potential. Can we use this as a competitive advantage?
She flipped it. Actually, I asked a question. I was expecting an answer and she asked a question. Okay. So first of all, I'm not a ports expert. It's just an example which I gave. So probably somebody else will be able to. You are from Kochi and you will like to take right from the port city. Although, so what I was asking, that what does it mean? Anybody likes to answer this question? That think global. Exactly. Our keynote speaker has exactly told you that, right? So, yeah. Use karo yaar, sabko sunai dega.
Hello.
Yeah.
So what McDonald's did, sir, like selling burger but adding aloo tikki flavor for India.
Yeah.
So they are going global but thinking locally. So yeah, that.
Yeah. So going global is very easy these days. Do you think that India ever lagged in creativity in terms of marketing in comparison to global brands? Can you tell me some example of some brands which has taken on global brands and won? It must be part of your case studies, right? Okay, good example. What else? Come on, you must have done a lot of case studies, right? Yeah, sorry? Yeah, it's a good, yeah. Why not? Why you're Amul, Nirma?
Camlin's marker.
Okay, yeah. Camlin's marker I'm not aware of, but okay, it may be. Yeah. No, marker I am aware of. I'm not aware of whether it's a... then obviously ghadi detergent. So obviously India doesn't lack in creativity. Obviously we don't lack in skills, but we definitely lack in approach, how we go about things, how we see things. Sometimes we actually look for very the term which is used as jugaad, right? That we are always looking for jugaad, which is sometimes useful, yes, in our colloquial lifestyle, yes, colloquially, but in a global context, that doesn't work. So if you have to compete with global brands, first of all, it's a level playing field now because you don't have to have a very high budget to actually compete with them. But having said that, you have to compete with the quality which they are delivering, which Preetham has touched upon, right? So you have to deliver that quality. For example, let's come back to AI, right? In deep tech, India is far falling back, right? So we are far behind. That is the truth. That US, China are far ahead of us. In deep tech, we are not doing much. Yes, we are good at something. In terms of coding, we have always said we are good coders, but typically everybody in the industry knows that what kind of coding work comes to us. It is not the first level degree which we are developing. Right? So we have to enhance our skill set to match to that global levels. We just can't. Yes, it's a proud feeling that the CEOs of global companies are from India, but they are US citizens. They are not Indian citizens anymore. And these are global companies, US companies, right? So we need to build those companies. Yes, it's good to be having aspirations for CEO, and it's the best time to actually have those kind of aspiration because you don't need a lot of money to actually start your companies. You don't need a lot of people. You don't need to hire a lot of people. Technology will solve a lot of things. So that is one take which I will give it to you, that application is the most important factor which you need to do. Apart from that, cherish this group, okay? And I will tell you from my example that this is the group which when you will need, you will fall back upon. You will need help with your career, you will need help with your company, you will need help with your, say, introduction to somebody. This is the group which will help you immensely even after 15 years, 20 years from here. Okay, so don't see it as your competitors. Yes, obviously there is a competition, there has to be a healthy competition. But then again, I have read somewhere that top people collaborate, don't compete. So please collaborate, please see how your networking can open up the possibilities rather than competing with each other and not helping each other. Thank you.
Sir, Preetham sir, your advice to our students?
See, my first advice will be to first year students that apply at IB Homes next year. And apply early, because at the end of the day, a lot of you get placed, so we struggle. Second, talking about primarily, like what I will say will have a lot to do with what Sumit said about AI. See, it's important to understand that AI and human beings are going to be partner. So anything that we do, like anything that you guys do from now onwards, it's very important to approach it at a partnership level. Which means that do not start competing and do not start worrying. I will give you a very first-hand example of what I have seen and something which even we, a small company like Ivy Homes, is also implementing. Something like a telesales job, something like a call center job is something that has been there for ages, right? And India has been a hub of customer service for the world. Like this has existed for the last 20, 30 years. Very recently, if you see most of the promotional calls that are coming on your phone, they are AI generated. Like there's an AI voice that's talking to you, do you want a credit card? Are you looking for a house? Are you looking for so and so things? We have done that cost benefit analysis, and again, this is not to sound brutal, but this is to sound very pragmatic from somebody who is very cost conscious, that the cost of deploying an AI agent to do the first 1 minute of talking is 1/3, literally 1/3 right now, of what it would take for us when there is an actual agent on the call. On top of it, there are two very primary things to take into consideration, right? That number one, these models are going to get better over time. They are going to be more and more human-like. Number two, an AI agent will not complain about work-life balance. An AI agent is ready to call at 10 p.m., 7 a.m., whenever an inquiry is received. The point I'm making is that if any one of us is thinking of being in the telesales industry or being in the customer support industry, it is not at all a wise idea right now, because we have to acknowledge the fact that AI is going to be better at us. However, at the same time, it is important to understand that there is this human element factor, this empathy factor that can never be replaced by an AI. For us, an AI agent can call you up and ask you 3 basic questions. Hey, are you looking for a house? What is your budget? And in which location you are looking for, right? It's very simple. Things are advanced to such a level. It's that it is there. Of course, there are TRI regulations and all, which kind of forbids us to make unlimited number of calls. But in a lot of times, they do an amazing job and are very human-like. But at the same time, they cannot sit down with a customer, understand the requirement, feel empathetic, and sell a house. It cannot do that. And it won't be able to do it for the next 20 to 30 years, no matter how advanced AI becomes. So for you or for everyone who is just venturing into the workforce, it's important to understand that, hey, this is the industry I'm choosing. These are the aspects of the industry that is very likely to be replaced by an AI. These are the aspects which will not be replaced by an AI, so I have to leverage on that. And as the old saying goes, the only thing that is constant is change. So it's very important that all of us are kind of knowledgeable about any new technology that comes up. All of us are constantly upscaling ourselves, constantly upgrading ourselves. See, I learned Photoshop 12 years back just as a hobby. Now most of the things which I could do in Photoshop 12 years back can be done very easily on Canva in 10 minutes. Gemini is not great at making posters, but probably a year from now it will be great at making posters. Yes. So, but unfortunately, I have also seen people who will not move away from Photoshop, who will not move away from Adobe Premiere Pro, even though there are much more advanced software. Even Photoshop has also become very advanced, right? You won't be using the kind of tools that you were using before. So it's important to know the technology that is in place, and it's important to recognize that, okay, I will use this technology to deliver faster result, to deliver things at a scale. And it's very important to put yourself in that discomfort zone where you are constantly learning and learning and learning new things. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. So let me conclude by the advice what they gave. They talked about AI. Like, and we are in a competitive world, we are competing with AI. But the best thing that we have is our human intelligence. We are social beings, we can network, we can collaborate. And the whole story of Viksit Bharat is not one or two people's responsibility. It is the responsibility of all of us. Okay? So it requires the framework of policies. It requires technology, as well as we need entrepreneurs who can build India better. My sincere gratitude to our brilliant panelists, Mr. Vivek, Mr. Sumit, and Mr. Preetham. Please give a huge round of applause for them. And thank you for the wonderful audience that you have been. You have been asking a lot of questions and engaging with the panelists. Thank you for that. And let us carry the conversation forward and build Viksit Bharat story together. Thank you.
Thank you to our moderator and dear panelists for such a thought-provoking session.
May I now request our head of the department, Professor Parameshwar sir, to felicitate Mr. Vivek George. May I now request Professor Hari sir to felicitate Mr. Preetham Thakur. May I now request Dr. Preeti ma'am to felicitate Mr. Sumit Mandal.
I invite Dr. Malvika ma'am to deliver the vote of thanks.
A very good evening to all. Can I have 2 minutes of silence, please? I won't take much time. So a very good evening to all. To quote Albert Schweitzer, at times our own light goes out and is rekindled by a spark from another person. Each of us has cause to think with deep gratitude of those who have lighted the flame within us, unquote. As we draw the curtains on this successful and inspiring Marketing Conclave 2025, it is my distinct honor to deliver the vote of thanks on behalf of the entire GIBS family. Our deepest appreciation goes to every single distinguished guest and speaker who graced today's program. Your presence and intellectual generosity have been truly transformative, sparking meaningful conversations and enriching our collective understanding of the marketing domain. A profound thank you to our chief guest and keynote speaker, Mr. Vineet Verma. Your address was inspiring, challenging us to abandon old methods and embrace new possibilities, but at the same time, being mindful in our practice and endeavor for borderless trade. Borderless marketing. We extend special appreciation to our dynamic panelists, Mr. Preetham Thakur, Mr. Sumit Mondal, and Mr. Vivek George. The lively exchange and insights were a key highlight, giving our audience a clear strategy and roadmap for driving Viksit Bharat. Special thanks to our visionary and charismatic chairman and MD, Mr. Ritesh Goel, whose enduring optimism and unwavering commitment continue to inspire and propel our journey towards excellence. We are also deeply grateful for the invaluable support and guidance from our Dean, Dr. Pallavi Vyas, and our HOD, Professor Parmeshwar H.S. The flawless execution of this conclave would not have been possible without the dedication of our organizing team. Thank you to the Department of Corporate and Alumni Relations, headed by Professor Nancy Johnson, ma'am, our esteemed faculty, MCs Digonto and Naomi, and our student volunteers, along with the entire media, protocol, and hospitality teams. Your meticulous behind-the-scenes commitment ensured that every detail was handled, delivering a truly seamless experience to everyone present here. Last but not the least, a special thank you goes to all our dear students, the audience of the day. Let's move forward by applying today's insights, ensuring we jointly explore and realize the new potential. Thank you once again, and wishing all a wonderful evening and a beautiful weekend ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for your heartfelt words of gratitude.
Ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the close of Marketing Conclave 2025. Thank you for your active presence and participation.